Imagine this: a connection, a spark, then nothing. Radio silence. This isn't just rude, it's a deeply psychological phenomenon that leaves you questioning everything. We've all been there, or perhaps even done it. Ghosting, the abrupt cessation of all communication, has become a modern dating epidemic. But why do people do it? It's often rooted in a fear of confrontation. The thought of hurting someone's feelings directly can be overwhelming, leading to the path of least resistance: disappearing. This avoidance behavior is a coping mechanism, albeit a flawed one. It prioritizes the ghoster's immediate comfort over the other person's emotional well-being and need for closure. Then there's its insidious cousin, breadcrumbing. Leaving just enough crumbs of attention to keep someone interested, without any real commitment. It's a game of dangling hope. Why would someone engage in such a cruel act? Often, it's about ego. They enjoy the validation and the feeling of being desired, even if they have no intention of reciprocating. Breadcrumbing also stems from a desire to keep options open. They don't want to burn bridges, just in case they need that person later. It's a safety net of sorts. The psychological impact on the recipient of breadcrumbing is profound. It creates a cycle of hope and disappointment, leaving them perpetually confused and emotionally drained. It's a subtle form of manipulation, keeping someone tethered without offering genuine connection. The constant ambiguity erodes self-esteem and trust in future relationships. Understanding these behaviors is the first step. Recognizing the underlying psychological drivers can help us navigate these toxic patterns and protect our own emotional health. In the next part, we'll delve deeper into the specific psychological needs that ghosting and breadcrumbing fulfill for the perpetrator. Stay tuned. Ghosting and breadcrumbing aren't just random acts. For the person doing it, these behaviors often serve a specific, albeit unhealthy, psychological purpose. It's about managing their own discomfort and perceived needs. One primary driver is the avoidance of confrontation. Direct communication, especially about ending a relationship or setting boundaries, can feel overwhelming. Ghosting bypasses this entirely, offering an escape. This avoidance stems from a fear of hurting others, or more often, a fear of their own negative emotions associated with causing that hurt. It's a defense mechanism to protect their emotional equilibrium. Breadcrumbing, conversely, taps into a need for validation and ego boosting. By offering just enough attention to keep someone hooked, they maintain a sense of desirability and control. It's a way to keep options open without commitment. This ambiguity allows them to feel pursued and appreciated, fulfilling a need for attention without the demands of a genuine connection. Some individuals may also engage in these behaviors due to low self-esteem. By keeping others at arm's length or dangling hope, they avoid the vulnerability that comes with true intimacy. This maintains a perceived sense of superiority. They feel they are the ones in control, deciding who gets their attention and when, which can be a temporary balm for their own insecurities. The fear of rejection is another significant factor. Ghosting is a preemptive strike against potential rejection. By disappearing, they ensure they aren't the ones being left behind or hurt. Breadcrumbing can be a way to test the waters of a relationship without fully committing. It allows them to gauge interest and commitment from the other person before deciding whether to invest. Essentially, these tactics are often about self-preservation, however misguided. The perpetrator prioritizes their immediate comfort and emotional regulation over the well-being of the other person. In the next segment, we'll explore how to recognize these patterns in real time and strategies for reclaiming your power and moving forward, regardless of how others choose to behave. The silence after ghosting can be deafening. It leaves a void, a question mark hanging heavy in the air, prompting endless self-analysis and doubt. The absence itself becomes a powerful, painful communication. Breadcrumbing, conversely, is a more insidious form of torment. It's a drip feed of attention, just enough to keep hope alive, preventing closure and trapping the recipient in a cycle of anticipation and disappointment. This intermittent reinforcement is a classic psychological manipulation. It triggers the brain's reward pathways, making the brief moments of connection feel disproportionately significant and addictive. The ghosted individual often grapples with a profound sense of rejection, questioning their worth. Was it something they said? Something they did? The lack of explanation amplifies the internal blame game. Breadcrumbs, however, keep the victim engaged in a state of maybe. They cling to the possibility of something more, interpreting sparse messages as signs of genuine interest, rather than strategic avoidance. Why do people engage in such hurtful behaviors? Often, it stems from a fear of confrontation, an inability to handle difficult conversations, or a desire to avoid perceived negative emotions. It's a way to maintain control without taking responsibility. By disappearing or offering just enough to keep someone hooked, they dictate the pace and nature of the interaction, from a safe distance. This dynamic creates an imbalance of power. The person receiving the ghosting or breadcrumbs often feels disempowered, their emotional energy drained by the uncertainty and lack of reciprocation. The psychological toll can be significant, impacting self-esteem and trust in future relationships. It breeds a sense of caution that can hinder genuine connection, a lasting scar from a fleeting interaction. Understanding these motivations isn't about excusing the behavior, but about demystifying it. Recognizing the patterns of avoidance and control can be the first step towards breaking free from their grip. In the next part, we will delve into actionable strategies. How can you protect yourself from these emotional games and reclaim your sense of self-worth when faced with such ambiguity? We'll explore how to build resilience, set boundaries, and recognize red flags before they erode your well-being. It's time to shift the focus back to your own emotional health and empowerment. The journey from confusion to clarity requires courage and self-compassion. Let's equip you with the tools to navigate these complex interpersonal dynamics with greater confidence and peace of mind. Remember, your feelings are valid. The confusion and hurt caused by ghosting and breadcrumbing are real, and addressing them is a sign of strength, not weakness. You deserve clear, respectful connections. Stay tuned as we transition to the practical steps you can take. Understanding the why is crucial, but the how of healing and moving forward is where true liberation lies. The psychological underpinnings of these behaviors reveal a fascinating, albeit often painful, aspect of human interaction. It's a reflection of internal struggles projected outward onto unsuspecting individuals. The impact on the recipient is far from negligible. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth, creating a ripple effect across various aspects of their life. Ultimately, recognizing these patterns is an act of self-care. It empowers you to make conscious choices about who you allow into your emotional space and on what terms. The next segment will focus on reclaiming your narrative. How to process the experience, rebuild your confidence, and move forward with resilience, ready for healthier, more authentic connections. Don't let the ambiguity of others define your reality. You have the power to seek clarity, demand respect, and cultivate relationships that nourish, rather than deplete, your spirit. The psychological impact is undeniable, but so is your capacity for healing and growth. Understanding the mechanisms behind ghosting and breadcrumbing is the first step towards reclaiming your emotional sovereignty. We are moving towards practical solutions. How to identify these behaviors, respond effectively, and protect your mental well-being from those who employ such tactics. The goal is to foster healthier communication patterns, both in how we give and receive attention. This requires self-awareness and a commitment to respectful interaction. Consider the long-term effects. Chronic ghosting or breadcrumbing can significantly damage one's ability to form secure attachments, fostering a deep-seated fear of intimacy and vulnerability. The allure of the unknown, the what-if, is a powerful hook. It keeps individuals tethered to situations that offer little substance, preventing them from seeking out what truly fulfills them. Recognizing these tactics isn't about assigning blame, but about understanding the dynamics at play. It's about reclaiming your agency and choosing connections that align with your values. The emotional labor involved in deciphering ambiguous communication is exhausting. This constant effort to interpret subtle cues drains energy that could be invested in personal growth and genuine connection. The psychological narrative often centers on the ghoster's discomfort, but the victim's experience is equally valid and deserves attention. It's a story of resilience waiting to be told. Prepare for the next section where we shift focus to empowerment. Strategies to navigate these tricky waters and emerge stronger, with a clearer understanding of your worth and your needs. The psychology behind these actions is complex, often rooted in insecurity and fear. But understanding doesn't mean accepting. It means recognizing and choosing a different path for yourself. The lingering effects can impact how we approach future relationships. It's vital to process these experiences to avoid carrying baggage that hinders genuine connection and trust. This cycle of uncertainty is emotionally taxing. It prevents the closure needed to heal and move on, keeping individuals perpetually stuck in a state of unresolved longing. In our final part, we will equip you with tools, practical advice on setting boundaries, communicating your needs, and ultimately, finding healthier, more fulfilling connections. You've navigated the confusing waters of ghosting and breadcrumbing. Now, let's focus on reclaiming your peace and building stronger relationships. It's time to heal and move forward with newfound awareness. The first step is acknowledging the hurt. Ghosting and breadcrumbing aren't reflections of your worth, but rather indicators of the other person's communication style or emotional capacity. It's crucial to resist the urge to chase or seek validation from someone who has displayed these behaviors. This can perpetuate the cycle and hinder your own emotional recovery. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the kindness and understanding you deserve. Engage in activities that bring you joy and reinforce your sense of self. Surround yourself with supportive people. Friends and family who offer genuine connection and understanding can be invaluable in processing these experiences. Consider seeking professional help. A therapist can provide tools and strategies for processing complex emotions, understanding attachment styles, and building healthier relationship patterns. Boundaries are essential for protecting your emotional well-being. They communicate your limits and expectations clearly, preventing others from overstepping. When communicating your boundaries, be direct and assertive, not aggressive. Use I statements to express your feelings and needs without blaming the other person. For example, you can say, "I need consistent communication to feel secure in a relationship," or "I'm not comfortable with unanswered messages for extended periods." Be prepared for the other person's reaction. They may respect your boundaries, or they may push back. Your response to this is key. If someone consistently disrespects your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they are not a good fit for a healthy connection. It's okay to disengage. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling your own exposure to behaviors that harm you. It's an act of self-preservation. Beyond boundaries, clearly communicating your needs fosters deeper understanding and connection. This involves being vulnerable and honest about what you seek. Instead of expecting others to guess, articulate your desires. For instance, "I really appreciate when you check in regularly. It makes me feel valued." If you need reassurance, say so. If you thrive on planned dates rather than spontaneous meetups, communicate that preference. Specificity is key. This open dialogue helps build trust and allows the other person to understand how to best meet your relational needs. It moves away from assumptions. When your needs are met, it strengthens the bond. When they aren't, open communication allows for discussion and adjustment, rather than resorting to passive-aggressive tactics. This proactive approach to communication is a cornerstone of healthy, sustainable relationships. It requires courage, but yields significant rewards. As you move forward, staying vigilant about red flags is crucial. These are warning signs that indicate potential issues in future interactions. Ghosting and breadcrumbing are significant red flags. They signal a lack of respect for your time, emotions, and the potential for a connection. Other red flags include inconsistent behavior, excessive vagueness, a refusal to define the relationship, or a pattern of making you feel insecure. Trust your intuition. If a situation consistently feels off or makes you question your worth, pay attention to that feeling. It's your inner wisdom guiding you. Don't rationalize or excuse consistently bad behavior. While everyone makes mistakes, a pattern of ghosting or breadcrumbing is not a mistake, it's a choice. Recognizing these signs early allows you to protect your energy and invest it in relationships that are reciprocal, respectful, and truly fulfilling. The ultimate goal is to build connections that are characterized by mutual respect, open communication, and emotional safety. This is achievable. Seek out individuals who demonstrate consistency in their words and actions. Look for people who actively engage, communicate openly, and respect your boundaries. Prioritize relationships where your efforts are reciprocated. A healthy connection involves a balance of giving and receiving, where both individuals feel valued. Be patient with yourself and the process. Building deep, meaningful connections takes time and effort. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Remember the lessons learned from ghosting and breadcrumbing. Use this knowledge to inform your choices and to advocate for your emotional well-being. You have the power to cultivate relationships that nourish your soul and bring you genuine happiness. Choose yourself, always. You are now equipped with the understanding and tools to navigate the complexities of modern dating. The power to build healthier connections lies within you. If this series has resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit. Let's create a community that prioritizes clear communication and mutual respect. Leave a comment below sharing one boundary you plan to set or one need you will communicate more clearly. Your insights can inspire others. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the psychology of relationships and personal growth. We're here to support your journey. Remember, you deserve relationships that are built on honesty, respect, and genuine connection. Go forth and build them. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. Until next time, prioritize your peace and well-being.